Last week, I asked for your all's help, and you all showed up in those comments. Thank you so much for that. But we've got updates. Some things worked, some things didn't. So let's get into it. PrintFix Friday, episode 240. And hey, welcome home, Artemis. Let's get into it. If you're not up to speed already on my issues from last week, here's a recap. I've had a 3D printer make a noise for a while. One of our Qidi +4s, it ticks as it moves back and forth left and right. You can clearly hear this ticking, right? And it comes and goes, it's not always there in the machine. And take a look on screen here. This is from one of our Qidi +4s, and it doesn't look good. Every single print has this weird Z-banding issue, and I don't know why. Suffice to say, things got angry. We needed stethoscopes, different tools, and an inordinate amount of lube. But we've got answers, and I'm not certain if correlation equals causation, but things are better. Let me show you guys what we did.
This is the offending Qidi +4. Utilizing the stethoscope method, we were able to find the tick came from that back motor. So like any good maker, I grabbed my bottle of lube and just coat it like it owed me money. I mean, just re-lubed everything. The Z screws have been re-lubed. We put on these wipers for the Z. They're supposed to actually stay down with the bed, but they don't. So whatever, it's not hurting anything. But as we can see, the issue is gone. So after a thorough lubing, I ran a Z test, which included 9 of these blocks that I just quickly built in the slicer. There is still some noticeable Z-banding, but it is in a completely different pattern. This absolutely points toward the lead screws themselves and is kind of expected for a machine like this. Not gonna lie. I'm sure there are ways to tune it out, but I'm not really gonna worry too much about it. In this particular case, our parts are not very tall, so you really don't see it all that much. And while, yes, you can feel it, you can see it, it is present on every single piece, regardless of its location, regardless of its orientation, it's present everywhere. So at least now the issue is consistent. That's what actually matters here, consistency. Because then we can start to attack different lubricants. We can look at dealing with maybe the motors are moving around a little bit. Yes, I use it to dry nylon. There are other things that we can look at inside of this machine to start moving. And yes, this is now a test machine. But I also wanted to show you guys something cool. A side of the shop you never really see. This is where the HT90 lives. This was for Wexter's Mini Dude Day. We did the South Park Shane, because why not? The Mini Ghost Rider, as requested, and the Mini Grant, because I am vain and I think the song is about me.
I'll bet you think this song is about you, don't you?
But these, as you can see, are a little wet. Yeah, that's because it's friggin' high temp Ultem that was printing out of here. This is PEI 1010. Yes. The same material your print beds are made out of is printed right here on the HT90. Now, when we first extruded it, we saw that this material was wet. And unfortunately, PEI needs a whack load of heat to dry it off. Now, a quick trip out to the local yard sales got me a early 2000s, maybe late 90s vintage all glass air fryer, which will be more than adequate for drying out this Ultem 1010 when we go to do this one again. But yeah, that is what wet PEI, polyether imide 1010 actually looks like. And yes, I normally say it's not wet filament. This time, it's wet filament. Thought it was cool though, figured you guys would enjoy it. It was stringing like crazy, and the strings, let me get the mic up to them here. It's like a sound of metal, almost metallic. And the funny thing is, because PEI is fully fire retardant, you're not really gonna clean that with a torch.
That's right.
We will end up potentially cleaning these off in a future video, but figured you guys would like to see the results of testing done here at the lab. That is a high temp Revo up there on the HT90. It printed at 430 degrees Celsius. The bed was at 150 and the chamber was at 90 Celsius. This is why people buy HT90s. They buy HT90s for high temp. Hilariously, I threw the PEI into one of the Qidi +4s to try to dry it, but even then, it doesn't get hot enough. It's kind of crazy, the amount of heat that you need for that kind of material, but I gotta know from you all, what do you want to see made in PEI, Ultem, polyether imide, whatever? Maybe we'll take a community suggestion or two and make them, and just see what happens. But I think these parts are beautiful. Yeah, they're gonna need some work, but come on, man. Not a lot of other printers out there can print PEI 1010.
And now, back at my seat, we also have the Creality fail from last week, where as the part got taller, it shifted, but then it came back, and then it shifted, and then it came back, and then it shifted. And apparently turning off the exhaust fan and the, keep the chamber perfect settings fix the problem. This is really, really pronounced. And you can see it looks really good. You can see starting there, again there, boom, 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 boom. And they're saying anything taller than 6 inches, it gets worse. And yet, the solution, for some reason, doesn't make a dime of sense to me. We see user Zonk_91 here saying this could be caused by the exhaust fan. Creality print makes use of the chamber temperature control on the K2+. Default setting for PL and PTG are 35C, so if the chamber gets warm after a while, the exhaust fan kicks in and cools down, and the fan turns off again, and the cycle repeats for the whole duration of the print. That could explain why it's not directly from the start and getting worse with the progress. If you use Creality Print, open the filament configuration. In the cooling category, scroll down and look for active air filtration. This is disabled by default. Enable it. This will pin the exhaust fan at a constant 60% for the whole print. Feel free to try it. Let me know if it made a difference. Apparently that plus raising the Z offset by another 0.01 millimeters has eliminated it. We had this independently verified by Discord user Jim Prints Things, and if you do want to join the Discord, you can join at the $10 tier or higher. Links, of course, are in that description down below. And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, helps the channel out immensely. We greatly appreciate your support. He tried this on his machine as well. Turned off the setting, and he doesn't really print tall stuff, so he's never really noticed it before. But he turned off the setting, tall piece looked beautiful. Turned it back on, tall piece looked crazy. The working theory is that, according to the comments, the exhaust fan is about 6 inches, and when the bed clears it, when that exhaust fan turns on and off, it basically causes the part to warp a little bit on the build plate. That is ridiculous to me, that is such an oversight that a manufacturer could make on their machine to the extent of where that could happen. So if you are running a K2+, please have it so the exhaust fan doesn't randomly turn on. You can thank me later. Or I guess you can thank the comments, because they're the ones that helped figure it out, and Jim Prints Things, who helped out as well. But it was interesting for the +4 fail, mine, where it had the ribbing like crazy. A lot of people had mentioned things like mechanical issues, Z-rods being bent, and well, yeah, they could still be bent. They've likely been bent since we got the machine. There's no other reason they would bend otherwise. But it's interesting how there were a lot of theories about roller bearings on the pulleys and things like that. And the amount of people that said, dear God, do not disassemble the gantry on the Qidi +4 because it's all glued in. It's like a bamboo, right? They're not designed to be user serviceable. They're designed to be user throw it away and buy another machine, which I really don't like. As a business, I get it. It's part of the deal. But as a consumer, I don't like it. I want my stuff to be repairable. And if I needed to fix one of the bearings in that machine, it's damn near impossible to do it. But there was someone that said that it could be loose grub screws on the Z-stepper as well, and that's a good thing to look at. I'm not going to do that right now because that involves a lot of disassembly that I don't care to do. Again, the pattern that we see right now, while it's not good enough for the average everyday machine, for the work that we do on the machines, the parts aren't cosmetic. They are functional. They don't need to look pretty. They need to be glued in place for a thing that I can't discuss. And so I guess this brings up a right to repair discussion, but also this issue that we've been seeing with more affordable machines being less and less and less repairable. What do you guys feel about this? Like, what are your thoughts here? Are you okay with a machine that really can't be repaired as long as it's cheap? Or do you require a machine that can be repaired? Because if you do require a machine that can be repaired, it's certainly not a Qidi Plus 4. I assume the Max 4 is not any better. The Q2 I know is not any better. Bamboos are not the most repairable. They've gotten better because Bamboo offers a lot of spare parts, but it's not everything that you need, and it's not like if you break one little wire, you can just fix that one little wire. You often have to replace an entire module, like an assembly for a car. Or do you want like the Prusa route, where it's quasi-open source, open-ish, not even open? Someone's going to roast me. It's not open, man. It's not following the opens. I know it's not. They're not claiming it to do it anymore, okay? Is the Prusa system something that you want to see in more affordable machines? Or is this lower price just part of the trade-off that you have to spend when you want a more affordable machine? Let me know in the comments. I feel like these machines could be made with repairability in mind. And sure, they might cost an extra 50 bucks, even an extra 100 bucks. Like if you gave me a Bamboo A1 for $50 more that didn't have a billion screws and really tiny flat flex ribbon cables that are super delicate to replace the motor on the extruder, I would gladly pay that extra 50 bucks because I have struggled for hours getting that motor in and out, getting it to work. And we have an OEM Bamboo motor. It's just a real pain in the butt to put everything back in. But I don't know if the Prusa tax is worth all that repairability. So I gotta know from you guys. For us as a business, yeah, throwaway printers are acceptable to some extent. We don't like the waste, so we want to fix it, but ultimately, if you can't fix it, friggin' replace it. But as a hobbyist, that's why I kind of lean more toward Vorons, even though I've had my own challenges with the Voron stuff, but their repairability is effectively second to none. It's printed parts and electronics, and unless you fry your motherboard live on stream like I did, everything else is easily repairable. The motherboard's a pain in the butt, but you can figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in those comments. I feel like there should be a discussion here regarding the right to repair machines, the ability to repair it, and how it kind of feels like manufacturers are being like anti-right to repair on the machines by doing things like gluing the metal rods that the bearings sit on, gluing them in place. You're not getting them out without fire, a punch, maybe both, and oh yeah, the parts they're glued into are made of a high temp plastic, but it's not resistant to fire. So like, what are you supposed to do? They don't sell replacement parts. So how would you fix this, right? Because mine's a stepper motor issue, I could just, flat out replace the stepper motor. But if it was an idler bearing somewhere else, dude, you might be stuck unable to fix it. Similar to what we saw with J-Lo with her Q1 Pro. We'll card to that episode so you guys can take a look. That's my thoughts. I want to hear yours. That's it for this episode of PrintFixFriday. We have a special one coming up next week. We're going to be filming it out in Colorado, and that's all that I can tell you guys. And if you do want to see the really cool stuff that we saw at Rapid, there's a playlist right here. And it's also linked down in the description where you can see all the quick videos that we filmed at Rapid. We're going to be doing a bunch more that are going to be edited, don't worry. If you like that kind of stuff, don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed. And a huge thank you goes out to all of our channel members, supporters, and names are listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. Thank you for what you all do in making videos like this possible, trips like Rapid and Rocky Mountain possible. That is all we have for you all today. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. So let's get into it. PrintFixFriday. I don't know what episode it is. PrintFixFriday, episode 240.